piece I want to touch on. I know I mentioned I got nominated for NCAA Woman of the Year. And so they had a big convention where you go, they honor you, they name their Woman of the Year. And so I went to this convention. It was in January. It was in San Antonio. And so I go to the convention, obviously not in support because the award was immediately meaningless.
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about how somebody who is conservative or has views that disagrees with the left, how their free speech rights are being taken away from them because, again, the left feels like free speech is dangerous, okay? Free speech when it comes to opinions and viewpoints that differ from theirs are life-threatening, right? So they lose their minds when conservative speakers go to college campuses to, I don't know, exchange ideas, right, and participate in rigorous debate, which is what college is supposed to be for. However, it's not nowadays. It's just an indoctrination center. But regardless, yeah, college is supposed to be for the exchange of ideas and rigorous debate. That triggers the left, right? Triggers them so much that, again, they lose their minds and they cause chaos, and violence. Almost any time a conservative speaker comes to a college campus. And guys, this is one of those things that I am sick and tired of seeing in our country. And the reason why it keeps happening is because these so-called woke activists, for whatever reason, okay, they have immunity, right? They have immunity from any form of responsibility or accountability when it comes to their actions, right? They're just allowed to get away with literally anything, okay? I mean, we just saw a transgender mass shooter shoot up and kill Christians, including children, and the mainstream liberal media made the transgender mass shooter the victim, right? And the Christians, they were the ones that were responsible. Again, absolutely amazing stuff. We're truly living in Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world here, and this story right here is just another example of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world, as it really exemplifies why women don't stand up to woke activists that are actively trying to take away their rights, okay? Their rights to have their own protected spaces as women, as we have Miss Riley Gaines, who, by the way, is probably the bravest woman in this country. She's a former NCAA college athlete, swimmer, who competed against Leah Thomas, okay? And after seeing the unfair advantage that Leah Thomas had swimming against her because Leah Thomas is a biological man, she decided to postpone her own career post-college to pursue activism, right? To save and protect women's sports. And she has been doing an amazing job thus far of spreading awareness and activism and going around the country speaking on college campuses about how women's rights is under attack. And because of that, she was attacked at San Fran State University. Okay, there's some very disturbing footage of her basically being stalked, harassed, and ambushed after giving a speech or doing a talk at this university. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, this is just, again, this is really, really, really disturbing footage to see. So without further ado, I actually want to go ahead and just play the footage for you guys, and then we'll read about what happened. Take a look.
It's just me. I'm good. I'm trust me. You got me. I'm good. I'm coming. I'm good. Trust me. I'm good. Go ahead.
are women. Trans women are women. Trans women are women. Trans women are women. Trans women are women.
Peaceful and
Make her lose her pride.
and move forward. Okay. Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she could go. $10 each. Like, because you might get paid for this shit, so we could get paid for it too.
On a public campus that we attend.
So what's the end goal here? We're cooperating, so what's next?
So
So they need to do their job and get her out here. We created a path. It's here.
I can't speak to all of you when we're over talking to each other. We're not going to hear each other.
Don't let her hold.
Then no, you don't have to use. There's a difference. So what we want to do is maintain what we're doing right now, and as the speaker insists, we can continue our.
Yeah, so what you just saw there is a prime example of why women don't speak out. What you just saw there is an example of why nobody speaks out, right? Why half the country seems to be on board with this insanity, okay? There's no doubt in my mind that most of the country is not on board with this. But again, that is what happens to you, okay? When you speak out against the mob, okay? You quite literally get stalked and harassed, and then they literally get held hostage, okay? Which is what happened there. You guys heard the conversation. How much should she have to pay in order for us to leave? Again, they're holding her hostage. Hostage. Again, these is about woke activists. People that are fighting for trans rights. Absolutely amazing stuff that's happened in this country, guys. I mean, it is ridiculous. And what's more ridiculous is that there were no arrests made during this riot, okay? Despite the fact that Riley Gaines, again, was ambushed and hit twice by a guy in a dress, allegedly, okay? But they made no arrests. So let's read about this. College swimming champion Riley Gaines has filmed herself being ambushed by screaming trans activists and was allegedly hit multiple times by a guy in a dress following a speech about saving women's sports. A terrified Gaines, 23, was forced to barricade herself inside a room for around 3 hours at the San Francisco State University campus last night after a group of activists ambushed her. Gaines' husband, Louis Barker, said he had brief conversations with his wife while she was locked in the room for nearly 3 hours. She told me she was hit multiple times by a guy in a dress. I was shaken. It made me that mad. It makes me sick to feel so helpless about it, Barker said. She was under police protection and was still hit by a man wearing a dress. Yeah, because police weren't doing their jobs and actually arresting these folks, right? Actually enforcing the law against them.